Hey all, Heretic here with another Hearthstone Battlegrounds Player's Guide, and I'm here to bring you the information you need to help you win with Fungalmancer Flurgl. So get comfy and let's dive in. So first let's talk about the hero power Gone Fishing. This is a passive power that reads, after you sell a minion, add a random Murloc to Bob's Tavern. So what this is instant synergy. Any minion you sell, whatever it is, regardless of type, is also going to then generate a Murloc in the shop. So what that means is if you're looking at like a free dealing, let's say you have a shop with no Murlocs in it, but there's a free dealing gambler sitting there. Well, you buy it for 3 gold. You play it, you sell it, you get 3 gold back because it's a free dealing gambler and instant Murloc appears in the lobby. So this is a great trick you can do when you have a Murloc you don't want anymore, or if you see something that's like a double value minion, a token type. So like a elemental, things of that nature. Anytime you're going to not spend as much gold, but it's going to generate more Murlocs for you, that gives you more options. It's fantastic. Really enjoyed this hero power. It's very simple and very effective. Now when it comes to tiering with Flurgl, once again, very simple. Basic curve. The reason for that being is you really want to get to tier 2 and you really want to get things like Salt Scale Honcho and the like. It's just a good place to start. No reason to be sitting at tier 1 for any dramatic length of time. None of those Murlocs are fantastic. Now, when it comes to minions and strategies with Flurgl, it's not super hard. You're going to play Murlocs. This shouldn't come as a shock for you after hearing about the hero power. This is your clear path to victory. Play them, play a lot of them, and get more of them. Things you want, like in the early game, Salt Scale Honcho, MVP, easily. You're going to be cycling through Murlocs all game, and if this minion is on the board for quite a while, it's going to give you a ton of health to the rest of your board. Only important thing to remember is the Salt Scale Honcho can never buff itself. So if you only have one of them on the board, and anytime you play a Murloc that gives a individual buff, you might want to target it on the Honcho so it continues to have some value on the board, has a threat too. Tad is fantastic in so much that he's 3 gold. He gives you a Murloc, which when you play him will trigger, Salt Scale Honcho and other buff things you might have. Then you're going to sell him. He's going to give you the gold back because you sold him, and he's going to generate another Murloc, which more value, more buffs, more stats. You get the picture. It's just kind of a snowball rolling down the hill. It's fantastic. Other Murlocs you want to find. Felfin Navigator, Cold Light Seer, King Begurgle, great for buffing. These Murlocs will give you more attack, more health, let you do what you want to do. Primal Fin, Lookout. Another great minion. It's a Murloc who generates more Murlocs. So if you're looking for a particular Murloc, Primal Fin's very likely to help you find it. SI7. Murlocs are great. They can have a ton of stats, but they also can have poison. Now you do have to get tricky to enable it. The Avenge is 4 on this unit, so you may want to slot in like an Acolyte of Cthulhu or some Death Rattly taunt minion to make sure you can get the charges, because let's face it, late in the game your board can be all 70 Murlocs, and it's going to be hard for it to have 4 Murlocs die to generate 1 to get poison and it not be the SI7, because the stats start leaning towards the SI7 dying, especially where it's coming onto your board later in the game. Typically it's going to have a lower health pool to work with. So let's look at Young Murkai now. Young Murkai is this phenomenal Murloc that adjacent Murlocs will trigger their battle cries. Fantastic value. You have a King Begurgle sitting next to one. You have a Primal Fin next to it. These things are going to buff the board themselves, generate you extra Murlocs. Phenomenal value. Oh, and it works with Bran. So when Bran is on, these battle cries that trigger will trigger twice. And if somehow it's a golden Bran, 3 times. So enjoy. It works pretty well. Non-Murlocs you want to have. Yes, the aforementioned Bran is phenomenal. A Flurgl board is great. Bran is what makes it a monster. Just double the stats, double the generation of minions. It's great. Selfless Hero. You do need Divine Shields. Typically, late in the game, you're going to run into some huge stats very close to yours. Even if your guys have poison, doesn't matter if they just die on the first hit. Selfless Hero, especially if you can triple it, now you're getting more value. Now your Murlocs are staying around longer and doing a lot more damage. In the same vein, Unstable Ghoul. Oh, your opponents are all running Divine Shields? Well, you got an Unstable Ghoul, and the second minion is a Selfless Hero, and next thing you know, instant value. Things like this you have to be aware of because Murlocs are weak in that regard. They don't have any of their own Divine Shields, so you got to play around your opponents, and then you got to generate yours. Leroy the Reckless. Now, Leroy is a great suicidal card in so much that whatever kills it, it will then kill itself. So while it's not great against, death rattly, low health things, these giant, massive taunts, cracklings that are like 80-80, they hit him, he dies, they die. Great end result for you. Now, when it comes to countering Flurgl, you're looking for the usual things. Murlocs are going to have large stats. They're going to have poison. They're going to be an issue. So Divine Shield's the easiest way to kill this. Poison, hey, it doesn't matter how many stats you have. I did 1 point of damage to you. You're just dead. Leroy the Reckless also. Whatever kills him, he kills it. Can't really go wrong if you have one of those sitting there and it manages to take out a massive Murloc. Even if it's a last-second pickup, you know it's going to counter at least one of those monsters. Overall, Fungalmancer Flurgl is a lot of fun to play. You have synergy across the board. Your hero power makes it so everything is going to be what you want it to be. And Murlocs are very good at generating value for you, so it just works. It's a ton of fun to play. If you find a brand, it is multiples better. If you don't, it can be frustrating, but you still can win. You don't need the brand because your hero power is still going to generate you a lot of Murlocs. The question is, will you get lucky and get enough of the right ones without the brand? He's relatively simple to play. There's just a few things you really need to consider when it comes down to positioning, especially when you're trying to develop poison for the SI7. It can be tricky the first couple times you do it, but you get the hang of it. The Avenge 4 is a little wonky, but I still love Flurgl. I've played every iteration, still works, a lot of fun. So in the end, I've attached a link with some gameplay if you're looking to see how I piloted them. Stay tuned, I have more guides on the way. I hope you learned a few things today, and I hope you had a good time. I know I did. Bye.